Here's a small segment from the Pre-Patch podcast. Enjoy.
Hunt Showdown. What is it? 1896? Is that what the fuck? Hold on, I need to make sure
I
because they
think
changed
so.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
1896. Hunt Showdown 1896. Okay. I have talked about the Hunt before. I have played the Hunt before. Tony, I think if I'm not mistaken, you play the Hunt, right? Or have played the Hunt?
Me and you've played
We
it.
have played it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've played
yeah.
a couple of with you. You know.
Yeah. So, the Hunt's been out for a while and it's had its, fair share of ups and downs with its community, but it really has kind of over the years garnered a pretty big following. And then they have been talking about this new update that was going to come out. And it was basically an overhaul of the engine. It was going to be releasing new maps and all this other kind of stuff. And everybody was clamoring, right? Everybody was like kind of expecting what it was going to be. They were talking about it, and it was all over
You
the
just
place.
shot that horse.
Well, yeah, it makes fucking noise and alerts everybody else around you. So, and I guess if you're unfamiliar with what the Hunt Showdown is from a long time ago, this is a
Calling Peta.
it's an
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
You should.
The
You should.
horse. The horse makes noise and everything. So I'm just gonna shoot it and make
Yeah.
the most amount of noise.
And make more noise, right? Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I don't judge y'all for how you play your fucking video games. Don't judge me how I'm playing mine, okay? Anyway, this is a extraction style shooter where you load in with roughly anywhere between, I would say, 10 to maybe 12 total teams. 2 to 3 people on a team, and your goal is to go and banish these bosses, right? You're in the old west. There is zombies and all this other kind of shit all over the place. You go to find these clues. It'll tell you on the map where you are to go and banish or defeat the big bad guy. He has a bounty. You get the bounty, you get out, right? And there's only a few extraction points on the map. They did an update, brand new map, brand new bosses, new guns, new interface, graphical updates, and everybody right now it's sitting at mostly negative with 13,000 reviews recently. Yeah, it's crazy. I think a big part of that is because they had some issue where, like, when it did launch, people weren't getting the stuff that they were buying and it wasn't showing up. I also think that, and honestly, that they made the game a little bit more accessible to people. And the hardcore fan base is kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? The game was perfect as it was, but as someone that is still newer to the game and coming to it, like, and right here I'm playing with my son, I actually kind of enjoyed the little bit more, I don't want to say dumbed down approach, but a little bit more, not as much of a wall, because you don't have like.
So what if they tweaked? Like,
yeah, so they used to have like a lot of different like abilities that were kind of hard to understand. They had weapons that you really kind of had to know exactly what they did, or you would be like these mosquito bombs, or like these one things that were like almost acted like a recon drone that you could use. Again, I don't know if those are still in there or not, but they really it seems like, again, a lot of the weapons are more user friendly. It's not as overimposing, and please, dear God, the Hunt community, don't come after me if I'm completely wrong. I'm just telling you from a newcomer's perspective. Like, I have played a couple matches of it and enjoyed it a lot more than kind of what I was enjoying before, because I felt like there was such this huge learning curve that I just could not kind of really get over. They also have the thing where, like, your hunters, right, you go in with your hunter, you level them up. If you die, then you lose that hunter. They have now some mechanics that allow you to get that hunter back, and make that a little bit easier. So it's not as like, fucking a kick to the nuts if you do
I'm gonna be real with you. When I first jumped into this game, it was very confusing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just to know what was going on. Like, if you jump into a random game, like you said, it's not as user friendly. Well, back then it wasn't as user friendly. Maybe I might come back to play this, but like, you don't know what the items do. Everybody already got certain guns that they know works.
Right.
Unless you look up like tutorial videos before you actually play this. Anybody that's brand new, they just be like, you know what, this looks like an interesting game. Let me try it out and download it. You're gonna get your shit rocked by the community that's already been playing it. So
yeah, this is not like your DVDs. This is not like your other games that, like, in the sense of you can get in there and be okay, right? You can, you can kind of, but even I would say, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, DBD is fucking almost impenetrable at this point. That's
Mm.
very much where kind of this was, and I think that they've made it a little bit easier to really kind of get into. And again, I like it because it's something that you don't see a lot of. You don't see. I just got fucking tapped right out of the sky, like the dude just domed me. But you don't see gameplay or games in this genre that are in this era, right? I love the Western era. I think it's a really cool, time frame. They add a lot of like different elements where, like, again, you have like burning, you have all these different zombie types. Like, it really does PvE extremely well, and their extraction portion of it is very different than your typical, EFT or gray zone warfare. Like, you're getting out with your person, like you yourself, and the traits that you have, versus being like, oh, I got to get out because of all my gear. Like, the gear really doesn't matter as much as you leaving and getting out, so that you can progress your hunter. And the new map is fucking cool as hell. Like, it's I'm gonna try to get to where you can see it in the daytime. But the new map is like this big mine, and there's like this huge mine shaft in the very middle of the map that you're going through, and like you have these close encounters, because that was another problem with the game before, is you'd have a lot of like all these encounters that would be outside, and you may not know where you got hit from, right? Because you might got, and so now like they're kind of like forcing you into this little middle area where it's very close quarters, and there's all this kind of shit going on, and there's these zombies attacking you, and it adds some chaos to it. So maybe that's also
Mm.
too why the community is kind of hating it. I'm really trying to see outside of just people. Yeah, go ahead.
from everything that I'm reading, while you guys have been talking, I've just been kind of scrolling through like the negative reviews on Steam, and a lot of them are just complaining about the UI. Apparently, this new update, the UI, they did like a rehaul on the UI, and it made everything like doing one action from the old UI, where it used to take like one click, now it takes like 3 or 4. They're saying a lot of people are saying that like there's a lot of bloat on the UI
Like the out
UX.
of game UI, like
No, like the
menus,
in-game
or
UI,
I don't-
like the in-game UI and shit.
I
Like
mean,
like pulling up
equipping,
your
like,
pulling up
grenades and
your
stuff?
characters, doing basic actions inside of the game.
I don't know what the
Hmm.
fuck they're talking about, because it literally is. I mean, I remember playing that, and like this is a little bit different, where you got to hit the map to go see your traits, but like. I mean, it's literally a scroll mouse wheel. It's hitting 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, I
4,
don't know.
5. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're
all
talking about.
all I know is that people are saying UI is terrible. A lot of people are saying that there was a ton of issues with like connection, getting into games with people, inviting people wouldn't sometimes do, like when you invited somebody, sometimes it wouldn't actually put you in a game. It would just continue to load. But honestly,
Hmm.
like I also like I'm looking at the Steam DB forum, right, and like they hit an all-time peak of 60,000
Right. I mean, this
players
was
the
like a
other
really
day, like 7 days ago.
long-awaited
So
update, like a big update. So I'm
they
sure
went
a
from
lot of people were playing.
they went from a max of 24,000 players to 60,000 in the matter of like
Yeah.
a day.
Well, they
So,
also
So,
they
I
also
mean- I don't
launched
know.
with a free week or free weekend,
with
right?
a free
So
weekend.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
I think that a lot of people that came into this are kind of like, well, they're maybe not used to it. I don't know, but I don't know if people are bitching about the UI. To me, I like the new UI system. And again, I get it. I'm not the fucking one that's been playing the game forever, but like,
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is like you're
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
brand new to the game, so you've known nothing
well, I mean,
different.
I've played it
Essentially,
before. I mean, it's not like I.
yeah, but
I,
you played it once or twice.
no, I
like
didn't.
you
I
didn't
put like
mainline this
I
fucking
put a couple
game.
days into it.
I
I mean, I've not played it fucking
Whatever.
as much as I've played like League and stuff like that.
I'm
but
just saying you haven't mainlined the game. You
Oh,
didn't put
God.
enough time into it to be like a fucking like what's called like know exactly what you're doing with the UI. Changing up a UI on a game that's already done,
Yeah, it's
like already
dangerous.
done and sold, is stupid. That's a terrible idea.
It is a
Like-
little odd,
I mean, it's yes.
especially for a game that's been doing well. Like, if you want to bring your game more life, add
But
different
it's-
content and change things, but you don't need to touch
it's
things
so-
that aren't broken.
Yeah, it's so bad that like Crytek actually, or who was it? I think it's Crytek,
It's
right?
Crytek,
The
yeah.
developers.
Yeah.
Crytek actually have come out and said, yeah, we fucked up on the UI. We're looking into it, but it's kind of
God,
hard
dude,
coded, so we
it's-
don't know what we can do. You know, it's one of those
Sure.
situations of
Just
like,
let people fucking be dumbasses and bitch about something that's so stupid, and they'll get over it. Don't worry, they'll fucking move on. Like, what did you say their numbers are at now? 60,000, right? And that's in what were they before?
No, their peak was 60,000. I think
Oh.
they're back down to like 20 right now.
I mean,
normal.
I can't like I'd be happy with it and say fine. I don't think that people fucking left because the UI is trash. Like I don't know, man.
I mean the hardcore people I highly doubt are gonna leave, but yeah, like the people that have been playing it might not play it as much. Yeah, you might lose hardcore like your long term player base for
I
sure.
don't know. I guess I don't know. I mean, again, I liked the game. I think I had fun with it. Again, I get it. I'm a newcomer to it, but that's also too what I think they're trying to do. Like you need new people that are new blood and fresh blood to come into your game. Otherwise,
you need casuals, or your
Yeah.
game is gonna die. You
Like,
need
so-
casuals.
Yeah, so their 24 hour peak was 40,575. Right
Like,
now they're at
fucking Christ, dude,
21,534. So
I tell the few 15,000 that I guarantee you were probably people that were just here for the free weekend and then bounced or whatever else. Fuck off. Like I don't know, man.
I don't know about that. Most of like the negative reviews, like this guy had 2,000 hours. This guy's had
I guarantee that dude with 2,000
412.
hours is not going to stop playing.
probably
He's
not,
not.
but
Probably not.
He's not.
like
Regardless,
regardless if he continues to play it, he has a bona fide issue with the fucking UI.
I'm not
Like
saying,
that's
I'm not saying that he can't have an issue
still
with it. I'm
he
just
still
saying,
deserves to complain about it.
I'm just saying that the people that are going on and here's, I guess, my thing. If you have that problem, there are forums, there's Discord pages that you can go on and talk about it, right? Places that the dev is going to listen.
Yeah, but
to
that
or
doesn't
whatever.
affect we've been talking for multiple weeks about the importance of being able to affect a developer with reviews, right?
but-
look at fucking I'm trying.
There was
why am I
Apex.
blanking?
Helldivers?
Which
Yeah,
one?
Apex, Helldivers 2, you know, all those. And they switched it. Like they were able to affect it, right? So like, yeah, they can go on Reddit and complain about it.
Yeah, but
That's
you're
not going to
talking
fucking
about, you're
fix
talking
anything.
about drastic things that like to put it in the same vein as this, it's like saying like, hey, I changed the fucking color of this box from fucking green to red, and everyone's like, God damn it, like what the fuck? Versus something like
you mean
Helldivers.
nerfing weapons and then
Yeah, that's a large
nerfing
thing.
them? Yeah,
That-
yeah,
that's a large
100%.
thing. I'm
It's
saying that
huge.
there's a huge
But
difference
UI
between
is
the
still
two.
a huge
It's
thing,
not
dude.
like they made your entire HUD go away, man. Like they just changed. Like you did. Like I get what you're saying. I just think that going and using Steam reviews to fucking negatively go mostly negative because of a UI situation. That to me, I'm like, guys, you're taking this a little fucking overboard. Like Jesus Christ.
If you look at the reviews, it's obvious that there was issues. Like you don't get these kinds of you don't get these kinds of peaks like 2,131 negative, 629 negative. Like you don't get that amount just for UI. There was obviously something else wrong with it. That's just the peak. That's just the one that most people are complaining about. Right.
I don't know. This is like I'm just seeing stuff like this dude's got 385 hours in it, or this person, and they're saying this is by far the worst UI I've ever seen. Are you okay? Like who hurt you, man? Like who made it that bad?
That's the
Crytek.
core mechanics of the game.
Crytek here.
The
Changed them.
bandwagoners, because it definitely, I'm sure it is probably worse than it was, but it can't be that bad.
My thing is, has the core mechanics of the game changed?
No, it's like it's the same shit.
There's really not much I mean, granted, I get it, but in my opinion, there's really not much to gripe about. I get the understanding of the UI has changed, but
I'm more shocked
like
that, if they've acknowledged it and what they said they can't change it back because it's hard coded into the new.
I don't know. I forgot what they.
I don't
said,
understand. Like I can't imagine a UI is going to be like, hard coded to where
I want to see if I can pull up the fucking old UI because I swear to God, dude, like one of these reviews on here again is 900 hours, and this person said leaving a bad review until they revert this atrocious update and the terrible main menu UI. Don't buy this game until they fix it.
So now
you're telling somebody in your fucking community. You're telling somebody that could be coming new to your community that you should not buy this game because the fucking menu UI is trash. Like this is the kind of stuff that I think is fucking dumb. Like why would you tell people not to come to your game? Like think about what you're saying. You're saying don't play my game, which means the player count drops, which means Crytek is going to say fuck it, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to touch the game anymore.
Already
I
seems
mean,
like they are doing anything.
I told
Fuck
people to
outta
not
here,
buy
dude.
Helldivers because they were trying to force me to do 3 seconds and
That's
sign up
different
for
than a fucking
Sony account.
UI update.
I'm just
man.
saying.
That's
I'm just saying.
That's a different.
That's completely
just saying.
different.
Yeah.
Like it's just this is
Like,
I don't know.
what you see as important might not be what other people see as important. Again, it's one of those situations of like I don't understand the ideology behind changing a UI on a game that's been going now since
Yeah.
2018, right?
I guarantee
Like
you most of the
2016,
people who are
2017,
complaining
somewhere
about it
around there.
too, I'm sure it's all
2019.
the new players, you know, or not the new. I'm sorry, the old players. And the new players, I'm sure, had nothing wrong with the UI, to be honest, because they
Probably
don't know
not
what
because
the
they
old
don't know
UI
different.
was.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, it's all the old players who are complaining about the UI, I imagine. So I mean,
What's going on with YouTube?
They, I think they get a right to at least say something because, again, like we said, changing a UI is kind of crazy. It's a bit of a like if it was a fine UI, why change it? Just change your overhaul what you want to
No,
make
I don't
different in the
disagree with
game.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's definitely being blown out of proportion, I think. I mean, it is a weird change, but I can't imagine like just give it a bit of time, you'll probably get used to it.
I just
Or
to
they'll
me,
tweak it a little bit.
I don't disagree
know.
with you saying that changing the UI is you know, in an old game is daunting, right? But we're about to talk about a
Yeah.
game that fucking decided to change nothing and import a new game mode, and that's not the right way either. But I
I
don't
agree with you.
I don't think that going in and being that to have the audacity to
Like
say
critical.
don't fucking buy this game if you're new to it because of the UI, you're killing your game. Like you're killing the game that you enjoy and you're putting time into, because this isn't a single player game. This is a multiplayer game that revolves around people playing it, and you're over there telling people not to buy it. Like just take a second and think about it. Like that is stupid feeding stupid.
I mean,
So-
you're not wrong. When you put it like
It's-
that, you're not wrong because it's almost
It's
like
entirely
telling
within
people,
their.
It's
Yeah,
within
it's
their
within their
right, but
it's
he's
within
not
their right to call them
wrong.
fucking dumb. Like
He's
Yeah,
not
you could.
wrong with what he's saying because at the end of the day, if you tell people not to purchase the game just because of a menu UI,
It's
now when they
self-sabotage.
don't, yeah, it is self-sabotage because
You
if
know.
you don't have enough people playing the game, they're not going to support it. So
Yeah.
I agree with what he's saying. I get
Yeah, no,
that.
I
But
get that too.
overall-
It's within their right to bitch though. I get that too. So
overall the game
Come on.
is fun. It's a lot different. Like I said, it's a Western style extraction shooter where you have these tense moments. The sound profile in the game is amazing. Like I will say, like I've never played anything that has like this good a sound in it, and it's really, really awesome. Really cool weapons. Again, you don't have all these crazy abilities or things like, you know, Marvel fucking Captain America shields and Fortnite and boom berries or whatever the fuck they're doing there.
All right. You
Here's-
slack off on my Fortnite now. Slack off.
Here's
All
a.
right.
I don't want to drag this on too much longer, but here's one from somebody that has 2,319 hours on record. He's going through. He's made a huge one. To make it worse, almost all means of earning in-game currency by playing are gone. The only reliable remaining system challenges is getting increasingly more grindy despite constant player feedback. Crytek also seems to have done some extensive research on and come to groundbreaking conclusions. Event means player spikes, and that is why the base game has been inaccessible for almost a year now. They're using events at beta to test new features, which never get hotfixed. Community has requested separate non-event queues, but that falls on deaf ears. Quite possible is that they cannot do the 10 EUR mark on separate matchmaking. I have no fucking clue what that means. FOMO practice in horror level timed battle pass progressively more grindy weekly to earn BBs. Event limited skins. I'm sure that's probably in-game currency. He goes on and on for this, like a lot of stuff. So like I said, the game has issues.
Yeah.
The game has issues other than the UI. That's
I'm
just
just saying
predominantly
that-
the
yeah,
most people that are
100%.
saying is
Can get it.
UI.
Those are all valid. Those are all valid things, and I completely understand that. It's just mainly the UI bitching. I would just say again, look, the game is it's $30, so that's I think it's a little. I mean, it's a little steep. The game's
That's a little
been,
pricey for a 2019 game, like a game
Yeah,
that released in 2019. For
yeah,
sure.
the game's been out for a while. You know, it is it's definitely a little expensive. I mean, I would wait for it maybe to go on sale, but again,
I think it was like $19 over the weekend as well.
yeah,
I think they had it on
usually,
sale.
They
as
usually
well
do
as
it on
a
sale.
free
It goes on
weekend.
sale sometimes for like $5. Like you can get it pretty cheap.
I've thought about picking it up on occasion, but
fun.
it's not one of those games that I would really play a lot. I would go in and play like an hour and be like, okay, I'm good.
I mean, I don't think it's a game that you mainline necessarily, but you definitely, if you want to kind of get in and have a different style of extraction shooter or something kind of BR-esque, like, cool, that's what this is, and it's a fun time, right? And you have a good time. It reminds me of DBD. I'm not gonna get there and mainline the fuck out of DBD because I'm not a masochist.
Yeah.
Same thing here. I'm not gonna fucking mainline this because I don't hate myself enough to mainline this, but it is a good time every once in a while to jump in and
I don't understand how you compare this to DBD.
Because Dead by Daylight's community, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, but Dead by Daylight's community and just the overall kind of gameplay and how many people things they've added to it, it's not easy to get into anymore. Like it's not one of those
a base like kind of
so it's not a casual friendly game.
Is that
like DBD is very hard to be casual friendly? Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm saying
I get it. I thought you meant the actual gameplay. I'm like, I don't understand.
No. I'm talking about like jumping in and like for somebody to mainline the shit out of that game. It's it's tough. Like that you got to have some kind of like deep seated things. Like people that mainline that game don't even like that game. Like for DBD. So awesome. So let's talk about another game that me and Enigma played. They did actually announce this on the show on the Future Game Show, I think. They announced this or a Gamescom, and it's a little rough, needless to say.
Thanks again for checking out the Patch Notes, part of the Pre-Patch Podcast, which we do live every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Or you can check us out on anchor.fm/Pre-Patch Podcast or any place that podcasts are listened to. Thanks again. Much love.